What up, everybody, and welcome once again to Tale of the Tape, brought to you by Gym Bag Entertainment, and this is your MMA show by guys who love MMA. As always, it's your host, Craig, here with my co-host,
your debater of disqualifications, unfortunately.
Yes.
Michael Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that's the only time I have to use that one.
Oh, God. It was a rough one for that, man. I ain't never seen it so bad.
Yeah.
This past weekend, we had a pretty good fight card. UFC Fight Night 167, Anderson versus Blachowicz. Saturday, February 15th, it was at 8 p.m. at the Santa Ana Star Center in Rio Rancho. We started this one off with the husband, flyweight Mark De La Rosa, 11-3, going up against the 18-3 Raulian Paiva.
It is Raulian, like I thought.
You did say that.
Yeah. Not a good showing from Mark De La Rosa.
Very poor showing. I did say that.
The length of Paiva, the right hand, just hitting him the whole time. De La Rosa trying to engage, gets through the first round, but looked bad. Second round, double jab, right hand from Paiva puts the lights out pretty much.
I mean, wow.
Yeah.
My question is, right, if you watch the event, you already know that his wife wins. How do you feel when you go home knowing that your woman took home?
Right, I was saying that like last week. That's an interesting thing.
It's got to sting.
It has to.
Not only,
or maybe not, because he can feel a little good that his wife got her victory, and he's a coach of hers.
I mean, let's think of all sides of this. One, your wife is not only in the main card.
Yes.
But she's in the third fight of the main card, right in the middle of the main card.
Right, she's high up on the main card.
And you're the first fight of the night.
Yeah.
1/3 of the audience might be there.
I think she's got a little bit just better overall. He's got a losing record in the UFC to go into it.
Oof.
He was 2-3 coming into the fight, so that didn't spell well.
Some people can coach, some people can fight.
Yeah, that's the truth, Yeah. That's the truth. So many good coaches I've met that, were never even competitors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the truth.
All right. Well, in the women's bantamweight division, we have Macy Chasen, 5-1, going up against the 7-2 Shayna Young.
They were pronouncing her name Chasson.
Yeah,
that was weird. I'm like, what is she, French or something? I never heard that. They had always been calling her Chiasen.
Chiasen, that's right. Macy Chiasen.
Anyways, great job from her. This fight was
from who?
From Macy.
Really?
Yeah.
You thought it was a great job.
I thought she did great.
I thought that Shayna Young was putting her in very bad positions.
I think the only time that she was putting her in bad positions was at length with her left high kick. Besides that, when she got that full plumb, knees to the body.
Yeah, once it got to that point, it was Chiasen all day.
Well, let's go round by round. In the first round, Shayna Young is snapping that kick out. Her karate style was effective. Macy pushed the pace. They got a high pace in that first round. It was a good fight. Mm-hmm. Macy with that plum and starts landing big knees, gets a takedown, takes her back, landing good strikes throughout the round. She's got to take that round. Round two, Shayna gets a trip, but nothing besides that, really. It's a slower pace overall. I mean, Macy trips her. She's the obvious stronger grappler and rides out top control that whole second round. And then, third round, the corner's telling her, take her right back down. You did so well. And she takes her right back down. Body control for the whole round. Steady ground and pound. Shayna Young was gassed in the third. But she did have a good first round.
In the first round, she had Chiesa in serious trouble. Like, she hurt her.
Right. I don't agree with the scores because they got a unanimous decision from Macy at 30-26 across the board. So I could see 10-8 on either round, rounds 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of the top control, especially the round 3. She had her back like the whole round and was just hitting her.
Exactly. So maybe that's what it was. Is they gave her that.
Right. I mean, I still think Macy could get the first round, but that's a close one. That's a debatable round, but good decision for Macy.
Yeah, because I remember when I first, because I guess my thought process is this: you're Macy Chiasson, you're 5-1,
Yeah,
you're probably, if not top 5, top 10 in the division,
yeah.
and this girl Shayna Young comes in and in the beginning of the round gave you some serious trouble.
She's got trouble with elusive strikers.
Yeah.
You know, the one loss there is, what is it, Lena Landsberg with
Lena
the Muay
Landsberg.
Thai. You know what I mean?
And you struggled to put her away.
Right.
So I don't know. I felt like I expected more from
Good
from
fortitude
Macy.
from Shayna Young. Macy not too much too strong on the strikes.
No.
You know, so she really got to put you away with volume. And the ground and pound was just kind of steady and conservative.
Exactly.
She didn't really go for the finish. It didn't seem. Good decision.
Yeah, good decision for Macy Chiasson. In the bantamweight division, Casey Kenny 13-1-1 going up against the 9-4 Merab Davalishvili.
Yeah, you're 100% correct on that last name.
Okay.
And I said the D might be silent, but no, it's Davalishvili. Pleasant surprise
Oh my God!
by
What an
Davalishvili.
excellent fight.
I'm sorry that I didn't know about you too much, Davalishvili, and I
Who
will
knew
be
about
watching.
Davalishvili?
I will be watching
Yeah.
every single fight. Casey Kenny, you know, I liked him a lot coming into this. I liked him in general coming into this. You know,
We both had him taking this fight.
good pressure to start. He's got great hands, good striking. But the wrestling of Davalishvili
And the volume.
is
Like,
definitely
just-
on another level, and the endurance is crazy.
man.
The pace, you know,
Even for a bantamweight.
to push that pace of grappling, you know, 2 quick takedowns, you know, he's snapping them down. DC was calling them mat exchanges. You know, he was like, these ain't exactly takedowns, you know, because he would pop back up.
Yeah.
But, you know, those are the type of things that we need to figure out in the judges' scorecards. You know?
What does it score?
Right.
What's the difference between a takedown where he gets up and a takedown where you keep him down?
Right. I would say, you know, 2 quick takedowns or mat returns, but then a big pickup and dumped him good, you know what I mean?
Hard.
And was smart on how he dumped him, too, so that he could immediately get to side control, just dominant grappling. The level changes during the striking, Kenny didn't know what to do.
No.
But he never stopped coming forward with good hands the whole time with Casey Kenny, but he was just wearing down from that grappling. Round 2, still good hands for Casey Kenny, but Davalishvili obviously fresher. You know, you could start seeing the grappling wearing Kenny down. Double leg, grinding him on the cage. Again, couple of quick mat returns or takedowns, you know.
It didn't seem like Davalishvili was even worried about the hands.
No, and
of
his
Casey
striking
Kenny.
was pretty good, too,
Yeah,
for
man.
Davalishvili. And Kenny landed some decent shots, but Davalishvili shook him off and just took him down.
I want
through
to
it.
know what's going on with this 9-4 record.
Yeah.
Like, how do you have 4? Like a fighter the way like I feel like he's about to revitalize and in some way revitalize the bantamweight division.
This could be, you know, his fight that puts him, you know, towards the top. You know, he might have changed something.
Yeah.
You know, he's over in the Matt Serra gym now. You know, which is great coaching over there. Ray Longo, one of the best striking coaches there is. He had Aljamain Sterling in his corner. You know. Which is, you know, kind of, if you guys are friends, you're fighting in the same division.
Yeah, and
you know.
and there's no doubt that at some point in time you're gonna have to face each other.
Yeah. But third round, Kenny gassed. You know,
Completely.
it's just taking it out of him. Still throwing. Grappling dominance by Davalishvili. 13 total takedowns.
Yeah, which is a personal best.
Yeah,
for him.
if you count all the mat returns.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
So,
and they did count it because I know they said it. 12 was his personal best.
Yeah.
And then he beat it with 13.
and I believe this was 30-27 across the board because of the good hands by Casey Kenny, or it would have been, you know, if he had held him down a little more and got some ground and pound, but, you know, good scrambles from Kenny, and he never gave up.
Yeah, he was in the fight.
Yeah,
he wanted to win.
I think if anything, this showed him, you know, he's still a good young fighter, Kenny, and I think this, if anything, showed him what he's got to work on.
Yep.
You know?
All right, next in the light heavyweight division, Devin Clark, 10-4, going up against the 12-10 Daquan Townsend, coming right back in 2 events in a row. I don't think I've ever seen a fighter fight back-to-back events.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think the pay-per-view was in between. with John Jones and Dominic
Oh,
Reyes.
he wasn't in that.
But still, it was a
in the same month.
21 day or something like that. Turnaround, absolutely crazy, and a hard fought decision against Bevon Lewis, and then to come out again and have to get a hard fought 3-round war where he does nothing. I don't know, man. I'm upset with Daquan Townsend. I had high hopes.
Sense of urgency.
I had high hopes for him coming in the UFC, and now he's got 3 losses. And the best fight that he had was the fight that he got knocked out.
Yeah.
Against Dolce Luangabula.
Yep.
Bevon Lewis worked him over where he didn't do much. No urgency, like you said. Same in this one. Devin Clark, stronger by far.
I think he's out of his league in the UFC.
Absolutely. Good single leg by Devin Clark. Well, he was fighting at 205. His natural weight class is 185.
Oh, really?
So he did take this short notice to step in. But still, I don't know if he's just trying to get paydays, but if you can't put wins together, your paydays ain't going to keep coming.
Yeah, and maybe Dana White was like, if you lose this fight, it won't hurt you in coming. But it does hurt you.
Well, maybe he wants to keep him as this guy that'll just jump in and fight whoever on whatever kind of notice.
Yeah. But he's a boring fighter.
Yeah,
and Dana White don't like boring.
Right, and after the fight with Luangabula, he had come up with a positive test, too, for fentanyl and cocaine.
Damn.
Because he took that fight on 3 days' notice. And he was like, I ain't going to make no excuses. So pretty much he said, I be getting high, yo.
Yeah. I get fucked up.
And I didn't know I was going to fight, and I had 3 days' notice. What you want me to do?
Wow.
And he took his 6-month suspension, served it, did some rehab, and came back, had to fight with Bevon Lewis, loses this decision here. I mean, I can't see why the UFC would keep him. But
Me neither. Wow.
I don't know. We've seen guys stay for crazy stuff,
This is true.
And he's a guy that will step in and fight whoever, obviously. But
with almost no. I mean, to me, it seems like he fights without
no
heart.
effort. Yeah.
No heart.
Devin Clark, super strong. Quadzilla. The dude's legs are enormous. Single leg takedown at the end of the first round. Devin Clark was being reserved, too, though. If he put this couple combos together, a couple of big takedowns, he could have got a stoppage here against Townsend. Good double leg in the second round. Side control, conservative ground and pound. Another double leg in the third round. Just holding him down because Daquan has no idea how to stand up or doesn't care to try.
Yep. Same thing, yep.
Unanimous decision for Clark. 30-26 twice and 30-27.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
In the lightweight division, Jim Miller, 31-13, 1-0 contest, going up against the 13-3 Scott Holtzman.
Oh, yeah. This was a great fight.
I mean, for Scott Holtzman, it was a great fight.
Yeah, Jim Miller was in it in the first round. He's landed in the left hand a couple of times, had some decent kicks, and then Holtzman showed his strength edge, I think was the biggest thing. He showed some takedown defense in the first round, Jim trying to take him down. And Jim was landing that. I gave him the first round on them left hands alone, honestly.
Wow.
However, Holtzman starts countering the left hand right at the end of the round with the right hand, and lands a couple. But I think Miller, I'd give it to him narrowly. Second round, they're exchanging. Holtzman's turning it up. They're just blasting each other. But Holtzman, you can clearly see, is getting the better of it, landing harder. Ends up getting a takedown. Starts hitting him with some nasty ground and pound. Finishes the round like that. Third round, you can see Miller's hurt, wearing down, gassed. Holtzman looks fresh. He actually turned it up another notch, it seemed, in that third round, Holtzman, and, starts banging him with the right hand. Jim trying to, close the distance, and he's just shrugging him off. Jim Miller, tough veteran, but Holtzman is too, and he's tougher.
Yeah, and he put it to him. Actually, I do remember, one of the things I do remember about this fight was that I was slowly falling asleep at this point because I was out late. And I do remember watching this fight, but I don't remember paying much attention to it.
Yeah, this was a good one.
I was in and out.
This is a good veteran fight, a good chess match, mostly boxing.
And for some reason, I thought Holtzman knocked him out. Was he on his butt?
He dropped him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he dropped Miller in the third when he had him hurt, you know, because he definitely turned it up.
And so it just went to a decision.
Yeah, and he gets the unanimous 29-28, so the judges agreed that Jim took that first round, I thought. Yeah, that's what I would have scored it.
So maybe that's why I didn't think, maybe I was just going off my
fight, though.
half-sleep mind.
Good win for Holtzman.
Absolutely. In the bantamweight division, John Dodson, 20-11, going up against the 16-3 Nathaniel Wood.
Another surprise.
Big surprise in this fight.
Pleasant enough.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
I didn't mind it one bit.
Nathaniel Wood, I was loving. It kind of derails his hype train a tiny bit, but I think, again, he's a young guy who's got great ability, and, you know, he's fighting a veteran, experienced guy.
Who fought for the belt, 3 times?
Right. And, you know, I think this is, again, going to show him what he needs to work on. Because John Dodson showed him the whole fight what he needs to work on. Nathaniel Wood comes out, tries to set the distance, you know, with his long jab and his kicks. Not really effective. Good parries by John Dodson. Them body kicks would come, and he would slip them to the side, so it wasn't really taking much damage.
You know what? Dodson got a chin, though, because
he ate some shots.
Wood put some good ones on his chin.
He ate some shots. He definitely took that first round, Nathaniel Wood, and secured a takedown with that overhook, the whizzer, when Dodson tried to grapple him. Dodson was pretty elusive, though. He's always has been.
Yep, one of the hardest fighters to hit.
And Nathaniel wasn't trying to chase. He was trying to be long. He was trying to be smart and close off and find angles. Dodson made it hard, though. Second round.
I love his charging attacks.
Second round, he's closing, landing distance while coming forward. You know what I mean? Landing like boom. He would land a quick left like while charging at you. 1, 2, 3 punches while running at you. You know,
he ran him across the octagon. That was dope, man. I ain't never seen nobody do nothing like that.
Some up kicks from Nathaniel Wood, the ones that, you know, Dodson didn't parry. You know, the ref calls it 2 low blows. I was kind of yelling at the time, because when I seen it in fast motion, I was like, that's an up kick. The ball of his foot hit him above the belt, and it kind of shows that in the replay. But the bottom of his foot is like all over his cup, and it affects
the cup. It hits. It's effective.
Right.
But
I mean, the trajectory of the kick. And then when I watched it again, Daniel Cormier was saying the exact same stuff that I was saying.
Exactly.
But I didn't hear it at first because I was yelling over him. Especially the second one, because the second one is to the side.
Yeah.
And that looked like it hit him in the hip. You know what I mean? And it looked like the bottom of his foot actually hit his thigh and not the cup. But the ref sees no replay. Yeah, you know what I mean? He goes
by reaction.
He goes by reaction of the fighter and what he sees in the moment. And, you know, with it being that close and, you know, Dodson reacting, that's 2 low blows.
And I feel like Dodson's not the type to like fake.
No, he's not going to fake it.
No. And he also had a quick recovery.
Right. And while he's you know, running forward, like you're saying, they had a nasty head clash. I'm pretty sure that's what opened Nathaniel's eye,
and for sure. And they said it.
And then, you know, round 3, Nathaniel trying to overextend himself a little bit, you know, because he's not finding the range he wants. Tries to go forward.
They let him do round? See, I thought when I watched it.
No, they went to round 3.
Oh, because I thought that they ended it on a technical TKO.
Oh no.
Oh,
they ended it on a TKO, but not from the low blows.
No, I thought it was from the I thought they. Oh, no. Maybe I missed something.
Nathaniel comes in with a long right hand, and Dodson with the counter left hook drops him hard, swarms him.
Oh.
He's landing punches. Nathaniel goes face down, you know, on the fetal.
Yeah.
I'm not really upset with the stoppage. It was a good stoppage because he was out of it, and Nathaniel Wood didn't complain. However, my only gripe, like if you watch it, you should check it out later. The last couple shots, you know, he's swarming, he's just throwing, he's blocking them though, and when the ref pushes Dodson back, like Wood was standing up. But he wasn't defending the swarm, you know, because he was rocked from the left hand. So, you know, not really that bad of a stoppage, but TKO for John Dodson, round 3.
And you know what though, and sometimes I don't like those stoppages, but then I think about the fact that like, if you have your hand like this,
you're still
and someone's
catching the
punching
damage.
your hand,
you're still catching
it. The damage to your head is actually happening.
Right.
Your hand's just in front of it.
And you're super rocked, so you're not blocking well.
No.
You know what I mean? So you're catching most of that. And it's terrible too with them swarms. They catch a lot to the back of the head that the ref can't stop. You know what I mean? Because it's coming so fast, and it's all right. It's a good stoppage.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely I swore that the second round ended. The ref had his eye looked at, and then
they did check the cut, but they said it was fine because it wasn't bleeding.
Yeah, and I thought they checked it at the end of the second.
Yes, that's in the second round.
Before the final seconds in the second round.
Yeah, and he stopped it at like 20 seconds left in the round.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, which was stupid. And something must have happened. I must have hit a button on accident because the next thing I saw was them raising Dodson's hand. So I didn't see that.
Smooth counter punch. Boom.
I got to go back and check that out.
Yep.
All right, and then in the main event of the prelims, Tim Means 29-11 won and won no contest. The stat stuffer going up against 9-1 Daniel Rodriguez.
Great debut for Daniel Rodriguez here.
Hell of a debut right here.
Good combo and takedown from Tim Means right off the bat. Yep. Slips a nice combo, takes him down. Rodriguez gets up, and that was his best work of the whole fight. Calmly taking his time to figure the distance, Rodriguez. You know, I seen him start putting the jab out there, moving his feet, and I was like, oh, this kid's going to show us something. He starts landing the jab. It seemed like Tim Means was trying to be long, which he should be with his frame and his striking ability, but he's throwing no jabs, no front kicks, no leg kicks. You know, I was getting a little confused by his style there.
He seemed hesitant to me.
Yeah. And Rodriguez starts landing his jab, and every time he lands it, he's feeling better and better. Right at the last second of round one, lands a left hook on Tim Means that he was damn near out, drops him hard. He gets back up, tries to walk to the stool. I was like, oh no, you know?
I thought at one point during the first round, he actually hit Tim Means, and if you watch, Tim Means, his body drops, like his knees buckle, and then he stands right back up again. But I think that he got...
Yeah, that could be a flash KO right there. You know, so that would be why he had that good work right off the bat and then nothing else. You know, round two he's still hurt, obvious. You know, and I'm calling for Danny Rodriguez to swarm him, but he was smart. You know, he took his time. He's landing the left hand at will. Hurts Tim Means again. Tim shoots in trying to, avoid the damage. That crunch guillotine by Rodriguez. And Tim Means taps quick.
And that was a hard tap, too.
Yeah. He was smacking his leg.
He smacked it.
Please stop.
Yep. I love that because that's like you're begging.
Yeah, submission round two, like 30 seconds into the round two. You know,
beautiful submission.
Absolutely.
So, I can't wait to see what Daniel Rodriguez has next
Great
in
debut.
the welterweight division. All right, to begin the main card, Lando Venata, 10-4-2, going up against the 15-6-1 no contest, Yancy Medeiros.
This was a cool fight, actually. A lot of casual fans could look at it and be like, oh, this is lackluster. But, nah, this was cool.
It was really good.
Lando Venata channeled that Billy D. Williams because he was cooler than the other side of the pillow, honestly. Calm as hell.
Yep.
He had the one flurry in the first round, but besides that, he didn't overextend himself one bit. He was methodical. His style was completely confusing to Yancy Medeiros. He didn't know what to do. He's coming forward, but he was confused by Lando's movements, Second round, Lando was calmly countering, waiting for Yancy to come in. He's trying to match Lando Venata's pace, but that was not working for Yancy.
No.
He needed to make it ugly.
I did like that he kept himself in the fight, though.
He did. He never was really completely out of it.
Yep.
But I think that was more of the calm pace of Lando Venata. I wanted to see him really turn it up. And third round, great defensive striking ability by Venata. I mean, if you look at some of them replays, there's one time where Yancy throws a 4-punch combo and Lando dodged every single blow. Like,
really?
Just from head slips. He's walking around with his hands down.
Yeah, hands down all day.
Looked like Muhammad Ali stuff. And I was like, wow, man, that's embarrassing, Yancy.
He was super composed. I liked his style.
But if he did a little more, he could have did a little better. But he wanted to not be crazy like he has been in some of his last fights. He gets a unanimous decision here, 30-27. That shows, Medeiros kept it kind of pretty close. I would have liked to see Medeiros push the pace and, make it ugly.
I love Yancy Medeiros.
If he made it ugly, it would have been in his favor.
Yeah. In the featherweight division, Rogerio Bontorian, 16-1 and 1 no contest, going up against the 12-4 Ray Borg.
Yeah, Ray Borg, not a huge fan because of his missing weight and pulling out of fights. He actually missed weight for this fight,
too.
Came in 3 pounds
saying
over.
He's going to get his stuff together. We don't need you to gonna get
We just need you to get it together. This is the third time you missed weight. He's got like 5 canceled fights. Who knows how many of them are injuries or how many of them because he couldn't make weight.
Yep.
I knew his wrestling is a problem, though. I called this fight for him, even though I don't like his character so much. But that wrestling pressure was crazy. The takedowns, the top control. Bontarine had an active guard, which kept him alive. You know,
exactly.
And great jiu-jitsu defense, which kept him from avoiding some of the ground and pound. But big elbows by Ray Borg. Second round, taking him down at will. Once he got his hips, it was over. He sent him for a ride every time.
It was like a resurgence of Ray Borg.
It was great.
I don't know. He was looking real good.
Great defensive guard from Bontarine. What's it called? In the second round, Borg's riding his back, attempting the rear naked choke. Had that body lock good. He really wanted to submit Rogerio Bontarine, which would have been great for him, but couldn't do it. But Bontarine, no answer for the double leg, like I said, and he just kept controlling his hips for the takedowns, rides his back. It's good ground and pound too. He had some vicious ground and pound in there.
He looked phenomenal, man. I love this fight.
Ray Borg, 9 takedowns total, unanimous decision, 30-25 and 30-27 twice.
Wow.
Yeah. Somebody's seen him with some dominance.
Yeah, exactly.
But I can't argue.
In the lightweight division, we got Brock Weaver, 13-4, going up against the 10-3 Rodrigo Vargas, and what a disappointment.
Yeah, this was Vargas was the better striker right off the bat too. You know, Brock looked square. He kind of looked a little Karolina Kowalkiewicz type. Oh,
head on the line.
Yeah,
straightforward.
And Vargas was moving all right. He got a good single leg. He was doing that leg swallow trick that Khabib loves so good. You know, he had his butt on the mat and his back against the cage, trying to swallow up the legs. The guillotine attempt from Brock Weaver was pretty good. He
almost had that.
You could see Vargas straining. He had to really put, all of his skill into getting out of that. And then, up against the cage, still same position, the butt down,
That's what bothers me the most. His butt was on the mat.
He was definitely on his butt. He pulls in his right leg. He pulls his right leg like he's about to put it under him, but he didn't even try to stand up yet. And Vargas throws that knee.
Hard.
Cracks him hard. And definitely KO'd him.
Yeah.
And hit him with a punch in the back of the head after, too.
Did he really?
For good measure. Before the ref got in to stop, to break it up. And, terrible, terrible foul. I'm not so upset with these disqualifications look bad, but I'm not so upset with knees like that because I don't think that should be a rule. I know some people think it's like a real vicious move, but a knee to the head of a downed opponent isn't really that much worse than a knee to the head of a standing opponent.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
No, I believe that there's no difference between the impact if he has no hands on the ground versus if his knees or in a hand are on the ground. But in the position he was in, I feel like for a knee like that, he's almost defenseless.
It can be. But, I also look at it like, it's mixed martial arts, and that should be part of the rules.
And they want people to last longer, because there was a time when bicycle kicking was legal.
Right, and that again though, like if you can't defend it, it's harder to defend because your back's against a cage, but you really just got to move to the side. It's more that he didn't see the knee coming.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
which is like. you got outstruck.
This is true.
If you don't see a strike coming. So I'm kind of biased against that rule.
Yeah.
But that's the rule.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, it's the rule. And so.
And you've been in MMA how long? You've had
Brock
how many
Weaver
fights?
wasn't given
and
an option.
Yeah,
he
right.
was
He was KO'd.
Yeah, he was KO'd.
So that ref immediately, disqualified him. It's ugly, I feel bad for Weaver, but I think he was going to get beat anyways.
Yeah, he was. I mean, Weaver was outclassed in this fight. He was going to lose,
right. But he had a good minute with the guillotine,
and he didn't want the win.
No, he didn't. He didn't like it. He didn't like the DQ.
We have another one later on.
Yeah,
that's a different story. Weaver didn't want this win. Right. He didn't respect the fact that he got it. He was head down in shame.
Right,
because he knew he lost. He knew he was losing the fight.
And Weaver probably also doesn't have CTE yet, like the other dude we talk about later.
Yeah, exactly. All right, women's flyweight division.
Yeah, DQ round 1, 4 minutes and 2 seconds.
That was in the first. All that happened in the first round.
All that happened in the first round. Brock Weaver gets himself a W.
Yep. In the women's flyweight division, Montana De La Rosa 10-5 going up against the 12-6 and 2-0 contest. Mara Romero Barella.
Another good fight.
Really good fight.
I was almost going to call it least of the night.
Really?
Only because, everything else is really competitive, but I have to give it to...
The next fight.
I think I got to give it to Devin Clark and Daquan Townsend.
Okay, yep.
Only because of Daquan Townsend.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And Devin Clark could have done more and should have realized that he could easily have done more to make it, dominant or get a finish.
Okay.
But that's all right.
I agree with you, least of the night.
But this fight, I really like. Montana looking like a 16-year-old girl. No offense to her. No offense to her in any way.
She just looks young.
She just looks super, super young. And it's like, really? I don't want to see you get hit. You know what I mean? A little bit. Mara Romero Barella, she didn't look great. You would have thought that, by her motion that she was the better striker. But she didn't really throw much. She got a kick-catch takedown in the first round, which was pretty much the most action in the first round from either fighter.
Yep. It was very lackluster.
Montana did climb on her back on the cage while standing up, for a minute.
And you know what? That's the one thing I did like. She didn't just climb on her back, but she was edging herself up to get into position where some people, they hang down and they don't try to advance.
She was going for a choke.
Yeah.
She wanted to choke her. So, that was probably the most action in round 1. But because she's going towards a finish, she probably gets that round.
Yeah.
Round 2, she gets her in a body lock. Montana does, drags her down with the back trip. Really nice wrestling, actually. Rides her back, trying to choke her for the whole round. Good wrist control from Mara. No answer for the back control, though. Third round, good right hand from Montana De La Rosa. Sits her down on her butt.
Yeah, she did.
That was good.
Didn't expect that from her.
And that was good to see because she actually realized, hey, I'm not outclassed striking. She's real flat-footed, though. No movement, no footwork. Montana got some work to do in the striking department.
A lot of work in the striking department.
Before she can
her wrestling game has improved greatly.
Yeah.
It's time to work on the striking.
But, right after the right hand drops her, she gets down right on her, keeps that top control, tries for an arm triangle, which was fairly close. Definitely takes that round good. Ends up with a unanimous decision, 30-27.
There it is.
That was a good fight for her.
And then in the welterweight division, Diego Sanchez 29-12 going up against the 22-10 2-0 contest, Michel Pereira.
Yeah, Diego Bad Dream Sanchez, not Nightmare. This is like a bad dream. Yeah. I don't know, man. Round 1, he's being strange. Well,
he comes in with the roll kick.
Being real strange in general. What was that when Joe Martinez is calling his name and he's like blowing his bottom lip? And they say
Sanchez is just a weird dude.
They were like, but his nose has been broken. He's trying to breathe out of his mouth. I was like, what?
And he's doing like the extra.
Yeah. Extra weird guy,
He's just a super weird dude.
But I always loved his character. I don't care about weirdness, but I did not like anything about anything else I've seen. The somersault, cool to start it off.
Yeah,
I wasn't mad about it.
He wanted,
and he
wanted
actually
to
kind of landed it.
He did.
You know,
it looked good.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, oh, this is what you do. I can do it too.
Kind of hit Pereira in the back of the head with it.
Yeah.
But, you know.
But whatever.
Like,
and I don't know. It just felt like the one thing I liked about this fight is I think Michel Pereira came in like, I'm not going to let what happened to me happen last time.
He showed us something in this.
He showed us that he's learned from his mistake. He can still do some flashy
And
stuff.
the lack of concentration, though. I think it was his thing mainly. But, you know, first round, Diego being strange, the somersaults, the force field. I don't know.
So weird.
Getting hurt
the
whole round.
He had his fingers at 12 o'clock at least.
Power strikes from Michel, like kicks and knees to the body, vicious, hurting him right off the bat.
Flying knees and shit, man.
Right off the bat. Some of them front kicks to the body, vicious. You know, like he was hurting him good. Round 2, no urgency from Diego, more force field, you know. No real
attempting some lackluster takedowns.
No real fight. Yeah, he threw one decent combination that was all right. Kind of caught Pereira with the right hand at the end of the combination, but for Michel, more of the same. Power kicks, power knees, jumping knees. You know, gets himself a takedown. That was cool.
I like the Superman punch off the cage.
Yeah, stood up. Round 3, Diego's just hurt. Wearing down. He looks scared. You know, they're up against the cage. Michel gets the takedown, and then he's beating on him. And Diego stands up. He's kneeing him hard. Diego drops from the knee to the body. And Michel throws another one and hits him in the head. Good, clean contact with the knee. And he was definitely down on his whole left shin.
Didn't he cut his head open, too?
Cut him open good. Wasn't bleeding much, but it was wide open. Yeah, you know, it's at first it's like, oh, Diego, what are you doing? You know, because the referee comes over, tells him he's got time. He says, you know, oh, you know, he looks fine. You know,
doctor comes in, says the cut's okay.
Says the cut's okay, right? And Diego asks Jason Herzog, you know, if I don't continue, is it going to be a disqualification? That right there, it makes you go, what?
The moment he said those words, any piece of respect I have for Diego Sanchez went out the window.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I'm not so mad days later. You know,
really?
The more time that I have to sit and think about it. I mean, let's really look at where he's at in his career. He's really strange, bro. Number 1. Number 2, I think that fighting spirit that we've loved him for a long time has dwindled. You know, this new camp that he's with is weird. You know what I mean? Okay. He left Greg Jackson's camp. He's with this new guru or whatever. Like, he's the mind-body coach, and he's the only corner man he has in his corner. Really strange altogether. You know, and he knew once Herzog was giving him time, he knew that he could get a DQ. And
see, that to me, that's what I'm saying. Is
I agree that it's a weak thing to do. You know,
he just wanted the W.
But I'm not so sure about the W on the record because he's got a ton of losses. I don't care. I don't think he's worrying about that. I think he's seen a way to get out of the fight on the plus side. You know, he's definitely losing, knows he's losing. If he doesn't know he's losing, he's crazy. But we know he's crazy.
Exactly.
I looked up his money, you know.
Yep.
He's got a $65,000 payday, but the win bonus is $65,000 additional. And it doesn't matter the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
even still, no.
So I mean, right? It's you know, chicken shit, whatever you want to call it. But you know, I think you know he's 38 years old.
Yeah.
He's thinking more about his safety. He's thinking more about his safety. Who knows if that fight goes on? Who knows how much more damage he's going to take?
Yep.
You know, he's getting battered. He's probably got a good amount of injuries from that fight.
Mm-hmm.
He saw a way. Hey, I can collect some good money, and I can come away with the W, and I don't care what anybody in the whole world thinks about me.
Absolutely. So
I don't know. You know, it's. I mean, yeah. Does it paint him? I think he lost a lot of the old time fans. Probably.
I think he lost a majority of his
But
fans.
you'd be seriously surprised how many people are defending him online.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they opened my eyes a little bit. I mean, I'm seeing it from an objective point.
I guess you are. I'm seeing it from a fight fan, and as a fight fan, I'm like,
because as a fighter, if I'm an old guy,
you mean
I'm not going for what? Because I am an old guy. Yeah, okay. He's like almost the same age. Anyways, but he's got a ton of losses on his record. You know you're gonna lose. Take the W. Take the money
and run. All right. I mean, I guess it is.
I don't know. I don't think I can be too mad at that.
All right.
Because I think he lost that part that made him the nightmare a while ago.
Okay. I feel you.
Yeah, I think we stopped seeing that a long time ago.
All right. In the main event, light heavyweight division, Corey Anderson 13-4 versus the 25-8 Jan Blachowicz.
Crazy. We didn't see this coming.
No, not one bit.
Although I did say in the preview that Jan is probably the calmer and more composed fighter, and that's what won it for him.
But when you saw him fight Jacare,
right,
and now he fights, I mean, I feel like Corey got caught.
But Corey was the more aggressive guy than Jacare. Jacare didn't try to put it on Jan like that, and Corey did.
Yeah.
He comes out, he's jabbing, he's throwing feints. I think his leg kicks are too weak. Number one, that's a problem. I started nice, but Jan figured him out quick.
Yeah.
And we talk about that. These guys that can beat champions are these guys that can figure it out right then and there on the fly, and that's what he did. I think the feints made Jan catch Corey's timing. More than anything, he knew that leg kick was coming.
Yeah.
And stepped into it, and and Corey's hands was way down, and he counters with that right hook.
Night,
and throws the hammer down
to make sure.
Yeah, I think Corey mixed it up too much, too quick, and Jan was like, it was like, Jan could see him calling out moves almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and he's like, oh, here comes the kick, boom, see ya.
Night.
Yeah.
All right, we don't want to lose too much time, so let's go through this bare knuckle fighting championship, February 15th in Fort Lauderdale. I just got victories. So Luis Palomino took home a W.
Yeah, with one of the only decisions on the card.
Okay,
crazy scores though: 49-46, 50-45 twice.
Wow.
Yeah, he beat him up.
And then I got Dat.
Nguyen.
Yeah, he wins over Abdil Velasquez.
Cold KO, bro.
Yeah.
High pace fight for 1 minute and 51 seconds, and just a knockdown from Nguyen early, and then a knockdown by Velasquez on Nguyen.
Wow.
And then Nguyen with the big left hand.
KO.
Down, not even a count. Boom, boom, wow. It's over.
Francesco Ricci takes out Fred Pierce.
Yep, Fred Pierce, wild and reckless, knockdown early from Ricci. He makes the count, gets back up, and he swarms him, and he stops it standing. No, wow. Minute and 38 seconds.
Travis Thompson takes out Joshua Bedreau.
Body shots.
Really?
Knocks him down once, gets up again, hits him again. Round 1, 2 minutes and 15 seconds in. Can't take it. Two nasty body shots.
Liver shots will kill you.
Yep.
Ulai Diaz takes out Brian Maxwell.
This was weird. Diaz clinch punching him, the dirty boxing. They allow that a lot more than regular boxing in the BKFC. And Maxwell gets TKO'd, but he fell holding his forehead. It was reminiscent of Cyborg Santos, that Michael Vannon Page with the flying knee and cracked his skull. I think this dude might have some skull damage because he went down holding his forehead. Like, not KO'd, but pain.
Just a pain. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Wow.
Yeah, 1 minute, 13 seconds in. A lot of quick ones.
The fight that I thought should have been the main event, Jim Allers takes out Khalib Harris.
A decision. This was crazy.
Wow.
Went to a majority decision for Allers, and I don't get it. The cards are all over the place. 48-46, 47-47, and then someone scored it 50-44 for Jim Allers.
How was that possible?
They're all over the place.
But 50. Oh, so they're saying in one round that he got like a 7. I mean, an 8.
And he won all 5 rounds.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
And then another judge calls it even. 47-47.
That's so weird.
But this dude seen it 50-44. I don't know. I didn't watch the whole thing, but the highlights: relentless forward attack by Jim Allers. He had a 30-second knockdown of Caleb Harris. 30 seconds in. He's just putting the jab on him, right hands. Caleb Harris did a good in round 3. Came back and put some shots on him, but then Allers was even better in round 4 and 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, and then the main event, Hector Lombard versus David Mundell.
What a surprise. Hector Lombard with a unanimous decision. 49-46 and 48-47 twice. Mundell, too evasive, moved backward too much. Hector Lombard with pressure and some decent work.
Wow. Nice. All right, UFC Fight Night 168, Felder versus Hooker, Saturday, February 22nd at 7 p.m. at the Spark Arena. Starting it off right from the beginning in the women's flyweight division, stepping in is Priscilla Cachoeira.
Cachoeira, yeah, that sounds
8-3, going up against the 3-3 Shayna Dobson.
Priscilla with no wins and 3 losses in the UFC.
Wow.
Yeah, she lost to Valentina Shevchenko on her come up with the rear naked choke, and decisions to Molly McCann and Luana Carolina last time. Shayna Dobson 1-3 in the UFC. Decision losses to Lauren Muller and Sabina Mazo last. Both of them coming off losses.
Wow.
I'm gonna probably say Dobson.
I went with Cachoeira, whatever.
That's a pick'em. Yeah,
I think it is a pick'em.
Either one is.
In the welterweight division, Maki Pitolo for 11-5, going up against the 15-3 Takashi Sato.
Maki Pitolo, contender. Decision loss versus Kalen Potter last time out. He's got good strikes and good submissions though. Takashi Soto 1-1 in the UFC. TKO win versus Ben Saunders, which knocked Saunders out of the UFC. And rear naked choke loss last time to Bilal Muhammad, but that dude's
Bilal Muhammad is Bilal Muhammad.
Yeah.
In the strawweight division,
who you got?
I think Takashi.
Yeah, I like that.
Strawweight division, Luma Lukebumi, 4-1, going up against the 7-11 Angela Hill. Angela Hill looking real good.
This is like my dark horse fight of the night. I like Lukebumi a lot from her debut. She's 1-0 in the UFC. Had that nice win against Alexander Albu. She got great Muay Thai. She was dumping her all the time. Remember? Until Albu ripped her shirt off and shit. That was funny. But Angela Hill, 5-7 in the UFC.
Oof.
Yeah, but she's had some bad luck. She was on the Ultimate Fighter 20, and then had 2 losses in 2015. They sent her down to Invicta, and she made her way back up. She was 5-5 in the UFC after that, though.
That's tough.
She's still up and down. It's like she gets a win, she gets a loss. She gets a win, she gets a loss.
And she just had a win.
However, she got massive dominating win against Ariane Carnelosi, that little bull lady, and then the great stoppage of Hannah Cyphers with the ground and pound. So she's on a tear, and we're seeing new, fresh skills from her. I like Angela Hill a lot, and I want to see her dominate.
I want to see Angela Hill win, but I think Lukebumi is gonna put this one away.
I think she might show her something. I'm worried because I like Lukebumi.
This could be an exciting fight.
I like Lukebumi a lot, even from just one fight. Yeah.
Kai Kara France in the flyweight division, 20-8 with 1 no contest, going up against the 6-10-1 Tyson Nam.
Kai Kara France was on the Ultimate Fighter 24. Lost to Alexander Pantoja. It's 3-1 in the UFC. Decision wins versus Halian Paiva, Mark De La Rosa, and then the decision loss to Alex Moreno last one. Oh, Brandon Moreno. Yeah. That's a good fighter, though. Yeah. Tyson Nam had 1 fight in the UFC, and he lost to Sergio Pettis by a dominant decision, if you remember. It was all striking.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Kai.
Oh, I love Kai. Got to go with him.
Tyson showed some good hands, but Sergio Pettis, a different animal.
Kai got good hands,
Kai's got good hands, too, and maybe the better ground game.
In the welterweight division, Callan Potter, 18-8, going up against the 15-4 Keenan Song.
Potter 1-1 in the UFC. He's got a 1-minute TKO loss versus Jalen Turner, and a decision win versus Maki Patola last time. Kenan Song 1-1 in the UFC, decision loss to Morono, and a decision win versus Derek Krantz last.
I like Song.
Both coming off decision wins, but I'm going with Song because Krantz is the better opponent. Yeah.
Welterweight division, Jake Matthews, 15-4, going up against the 9-4-1 and 1-0 contest stat stuffer, Emil Meek.
Yeah, Jake Matthews, guy flies under the radar, been around a long time. 8-4 in the UFC. Submission loss versus Anthony Rocco Martin, who we like, and decision win last versus Rostam Akhman. And Emil Meek 1-2 in the UFC, decision loss versus Usman, and decision loss versus Bartosz Fabinski. I don't know who that is.
Me neither.
But
I got to go with Jake.
Yeah.
And then in the main event of the prelims, lightweight division, Jalen Turner 8-5, going up against the undefeated 8-0 Joshua Culibao.
Yeah, Culibao.
Yeah.
He seems like a Brazilian. It's his debut. He's got 5 KOs, 2 KOs in a row. Jalen Turner was on the contender, 1-2 in the UFC because he had to face the likes of Vicente Luque, got knocked out, and he's got that 1-minute TKO versus Kalen Potter that I just said though, and decision loss to Matt Frivola last fight.
And Joshua Culibao is stepping in for Jamie Malarkey.
Right.
I like step-ins and I like
step-ins
zeros.
and I like the zeros, and then 5 finishes, two in his last fights. Yeah, I'm good with that.
And to start the main card in the featherweight division, Kevin Aguilar, 17-2, going up against the 18-4-1 Zubaira Tukhugov.
Yeah, Aguilar's on the contender, 2-1 in the UFC. Decision wins versus Enrique Barzola, and decision loss versus Ige last.
Okay.
Dan Ige's great though.
Great.
Zubaira fights like once a year since 2014. He's 3-1-1 in the UFC. Decision wins versus Lerone Murphy, and last time, decision win versus Lerone Murphy. That's the only one I wrote because he had 2 cancels before that.
Wow. Well, I like Kevin Aguilar.
And didn't fight since 15. So, I'm going with Aguilar for sure.
In the lightweight division, Brad Riddle, 7-1, going up against the 14-2 Magomed Mustafayev.
Brad Riddle, decision win versus dominant versus Malarkey. Remember, he was battering his brains in.
Oh, is that Malarkey? Is that the one that went down and like he punched him? On their hands and knees.
Yeah, Riddle was just brutalizing him. Yeah, and hit him when he was on his knees. 3-1 in the UFC for Magomed. Rear naked choke loss to Kevin Lee.
Wow.
But then he TKO'd Rafael Fiziev last, and that's a good striker. So
I like Magomed.
I'm going with Magomed.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right, in the heavyweight division, Ben Soli, 7-2 with 2-0 contest, going up against the 16-6-1 Marcos Harigo de Lima.
Yeah, Marcos Rogerio de Lima. Ben Sassoli was on the contender. He lost. Well, he didn't lose his debut. Correction. His debut is a no contest versus Greg Hardy for the Inhaler Gate.
Oh, that's Inhaler Gate.
Yes.
Oh, he was getting dominated.
Yeah, Hardy was definitely winning that. That should be, he won a unanimous decision. Then they overturned it.
Yep.
Marcos Rogerio de Lima, 5-4 in the UFC. Last 2 fights, decision win versus Wazorzik, and submission loss to Stefan Struve.
Ooh.
I want to see Sassoli do something. I think I'm going with Sassoli.
I'm gonna go with Marcos. All right, and then in the strawweight division, the return of Carolina Kolakiewicz, 12-5, going up against the 11-1 1-0 contest Yan Xiaonan.
Yeah, it's good to see Carolina back. She's 5-5 in the UFC. KO loss versus Andrade, and decision losses versus Waterson and Grasso, although she was very active during that time.
And then she went to a decision against Joanna Jędrzejczyk too.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And holds an actual win from a couple years ago over Rose Namajunas.
Oh, yes.
Yes, people don't remember that. But yeah, Rose had to turn the corner before she became that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Carolina's always been steady. You know, Yan Xiaonan 4-0 in the UFC. Decision wins versus Sayuri Kondo and Angela Hill. And last couple of fights are cancels.
Wow. I got to go with Jan, though. Kovacevic.
I know you like that 4-0 in the UFC, especially.
And she only got one loss in her whole career.
Kovacevic coming off of 3 losses.
She hasn't fought in a while either.
And she hasn't. She had to take the time to build herself back up. So I think she's going to get my vote.
All right.
I'm going to go with her. I always liked her.
Light heavyweight division, Jim Crute 10-1 going up against the 14-3 and 1 no contest Mike Oleksiejczuk. There you go.
Jimmy Crute contender, 2-1 in the UFC, submission versus Paul Craig, TKO versus Sam Alvey, and then that Peruvian necktie that he lost to Misha Cirkunov.
He got the Peruvian.
That was his last fight. Oleksiejczuk 2-1-1 in the UFC. He's got that no contest against Khalil Roundtree.
Yeah.
And he's got 2 round 1 TKO wins in a row, and then a submission loss versus Owen St. Preux by the Von Flue choke. I'm going to go with Crute.
I'm going to go with Crute as well.
I want to see some big hands from him.
And then the main event, a fight we've been waiting for, a fight we've been excited for.
A fight that we called for.
Yes. The lightweight division, Paul Felder, 17-4, going up against the 9-8 Dan Hooker.
These numbers, you can't make this shit up. It's crazy. Paul Felder, 9-4 in the UFC. Dan Hooker, 9-4 in the UFC.
Wow.
Close decision versus Mike Perry. Loses for Paul Felder, then decision wins versus James Vick. Edson Barbosa, he's faster, he's got great stamina. Dan Hooker, like I said, 9-4 as well. TKO loss versus Barbosa. These opponents tell us a lot. TKO win versus Vick. Decision win versus Ally Aquinta. I think that's important. That was his last fight. He's longer, uses that range well. You look at the common opponents. Barboza and Felder fought twice. Barboza actually beat him one time. And they went to that last very close split decision. Barboza TKO'd Dan Hooker with a body shot.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the TKO win versus James Vick, whereas Paul Felder had to go to decision with that.
I'm just a Paul Felder
This is up
fan.
in the air, man.
It is.
But I got to go with Felder on the toughness because I never seen him hurt. Never mind stopped. I never even seen him wince.
Yeah.
Like the dude's a beast. And I saw Hooker crumble from that body shot from Barboza.
And Felder wants that climb more than Hooker does.
I think he does. And Hooker's, believes in himself. He's real sure of himself. Yeah. But Felder is a working man and, he's got his eye on the prize.
There it is.
Absolutely.
Big fight on the horizon this weekend. Deontay Wilder going up against Tyson Fury for the second time, and there's gonna be fireworks.
Definitely gotta talk about it a little. The first fight was crazy.
Yep,
probably the craziest boxing match in recent history.
And the biggest fight of Deontay Wilder's career.
Absolutely. Best opponent that he's ever faced. He gets a lot of flack for, people say knocks out bums, but he'll knock out whoever you put in front of him. That
because
power
he has
is real.
knocked out everybody.
Yeah, he's got 43 wins, 0 losses, 41 KOs, and the 1 draw against Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, 27 wins, no losses. I think he's got 19 KOs in there and the 1 draw. So, Tyson does it on volume, though.
Yeah.
But, his footwork, his head movement, his hand speed is all better than Deontay. But power.
The last fight, I saw Deontay Wilder, and he looked a lot more technical.
He did. And it would be hard to believe that he doesn't up that technicality more for this fight. You know what I mean? And Tyson, just barely survived. He gets crunched in that 12th round with the right hand and the left hook to follow. Somehow pops up on the 7 count. That was miraculous to me.
Who you got?
I think the power cancels out a lot of that stuff. Because Tyson's got to be perfect.
Yeah.
To get a decision.
Yeah.
Because Deontay also got a granite chin. You know, so I don't think he knocks him out. I think he's got to be perfect to get a decision, and Deontay just got to get him once.
Yep.
And that's a lot of rounds to be able to try to just get somebody once. Yeah, I think Deontay takes that.
Real quickly, in Bare Knuckle 11, the first fight announced is Helen Peralta versus Christine Ferreira.
That's cool that they announced a fight already. Maybe we'll get a quick turnaround on to the next event.
Exactly.
We had to wait a long time for this one.
And real quick, you did have a good piece of news.
Which one?
Let's go with let's talk about the Aljamain Sterling and that was funny.
Henry Cejudo with the tweet about Aljamain and Piotr Jan says, you know, I don't even think about you, Aljamain Sterling Silver. He called him. And some reporter, I forget what her name was, but she had called it racist.
Not everything's racist, lady.
Yeah,
Not everything.
I think it was just, you know, a play on the name.
Yeah.
And he called Piotr Jan a communist in the tweet, and she had no problem with that.
With it.
You know, I don't know. It's crazy. ONE FC got closed door events in Singapore due to the coronavirus.
Whoa.
I was watching the Hero series. Nobody in the crowd. Crazy stuff.
All right, well, that's our time. We'll see you next week in the Octagon. Have a good night.
Peace.